All right, we are live. Just like that. 1 second, we're having a regular old conversation, which usually means Lisa's yelling at me for something.
Oh, stop lying.
And then now we're here. We're live in front of thousands of people. It's a beautiful thing. Hopefully thousands.
You exaggerate so much.
Well, that's what men do. How is everyone doing tonight? Excited to be here. But we have no plan. Zero plan. Nothing. No plan at all. Which is unusual. I usually like to come in here with a plan, but you know what? Sometimes, thank you, Papa Moto. Look at that. Already coming in with the video and sound is good. Thank you. Sometimes it's fun to just come in here and see what happens.
Ooh,
Play the game and see what happens. This shirt is strangling me. I don't know what the deal is with this thing. I put a clean shirt on for the stream.
That's good.
You do, I guess, have some things to talk about. A couple of things to talk about. The polls from the last couple of weeks.
I was only going to talk about last week's.
You wanted to talk about it last week. You didn't get to. But we can talk about this one too. That's good. Oh, we are swapped, aren't we? Somebody always seems to point that out. Yeah, that's my bad. Let me take Lisa off and then add her back on. That's all it takes. There's always got to be something.
Well, I was going to say something, but I'll wait a little while until there's more people here because I want to make, I could say it now. It's not a big deal. I'll just repeat it again later, but Fish from Fever is not streaming tonight. Chattanooga Ed is streaming in his place at 9:30.
Oh, where did you hear that news?
It's on the community page.
Oh, I spend very little time on YouTube, so I wouldn't know.
Gotcha.
You know, you shouldn't lie to your wife. And I just did in front of everybody. Just bold-faced lie. I spend a lot of time on YouTube, and we all know that, and she knows that, which is why it's funny that she even said, yeah, like you agreed with me. That's just weird.
Well, I was trying not to get into one of those arguments on YouTube, but anyway.
So the only real thing I want to do, and I like to do this every single week. I like to remind everyone 3 weeks. I hate when people say a number and then they put the fingers up. I'm doing it right now, and I hate when people do that. Wow. 3 weeks from today, we will be in the great state of Texas. Flying in Thursday, landing midday Thursday, and then, we got to make our way to the airport. We don't have a chauffeur picking us up this time like we did last time.
I know.
So we got to figure that out. It'll be as simple as an Uber. It's not a big deal. But
as long as it's not those Florida Uber drivers.
They were a little crazy. My plan is we do get some extra checked bags on the plane, so that's cool. I can bring more gear this time and not be stressed out about it. So I plan on bringing all of the live stream stuff and finding a place and streaming from that place. It's probably going to be from the table that we will be streaming from during the event. That's what my guess is.
It might not be set up by then.
Oh, it'll be set up by then. If it's not, as long as the table's there, we'll be good to go. I mean, it should be Thursday that gets set up, or even sooner than that. But Aquashella, the YouTube channel, Aquashella is going to have live streams throughout the entire event, just like they did in Chicago. So it's something we will be a part of at some point of the weekend. We're not sure of a schedule for that yet, but that's going to be fun. And then one of the things that I'm being very hard-headed about when it comes to this event, because I'm part of a committee that does the planning and stuff like that for the YouTube booth and all of that. They keep asking me what my topic is for the stream, and I keep telling them I don't have one because I want it to be from the audience. Now, here's the thing. The hope is, and this might be a big fat fail, I don't know, but the hope is that there will be people around the YouTube booth that will want to ask questions during the stream. So the idea will be I will be addressing people that are standing right in front of us not necessarily people in the chat. I hope that makes sense. Because I think it would be a really cool thing to be able to have people participate live right there. We're trying to work on having a microphone that is there for an audience, a person in the audience to come up and ask questions and stuff like that. So it's going to be very cool. It's not like we're going to have a huge mass of people sitting there watching us do a live stream, but maybe we will.
Kind of reminds me of like, what's that game that used to be on, and the guy would say, "Come on down."
Price is Right. It's still on. It's still on. It's Drew.
It's not
Drew Carey. Isn't he still the host?
Not the same guy as.
It's not the same as as Bob Barker, but yeah, I mean that's the hope, is that we get some people there. Maybe you might want to be present while a live stream like this is being done. If you are, I'd love to be able to tell you when that's going to be throughout the weekend, but I don't know. I did ask for it to be Saturday because I'm talking on Sunday.
Yeah.
So that would be a little much if I did both in one day. So hopefully we will be streaming from Aquashella on the Aquashella channel on Saturday at some point. And then Zenjinder got her bubbles.
Yay, she got her bubbles.
And that will be very fun. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Aquashella, the Aquarium Festival, they do it 3 times a year all over the country. The last one of the year is in Dallas, Texas. In 3 weekends from now is when that's happening. Yes, Halloween weekend. Everybody's going to be dressing up on Sunday. I don't know if everybody's going to. I ordered my stuff today. You ordered your stuff today or yesterday.
I ordered 2 costumes because I'm not sure what mood I'm going to be in.
I completely understand that. Yeah, I know exactly what I'm going to be. Anybody that knows me knows already what I would be, because it's the only thing I would be. So yeah, anyway, an amazing time. If you're anywhere within a few hours of Dallas, Texas, I encourage you to go on the website aquashella.com, spelled exactly like it sounds, Aquashella, and check it out and come by, say hi to us. We'll be there the whole weekend. So
Yep.
Let me go through these real quick and then you can go into your poll.
Sure.
That sounded X-rated. We don't need that on a Thursday night. Death by Fish Tanks. This is going to be an especially good stream. I can feel it.
Nice.
That's what she said. It says that's what she said.
Oh, that's funny.
P.S. Platies are awesome. They are awesome.
They're a pretty cool fish.
I am going to be talking about platies on a video tomorrow. I'm filming tomorrow, but it's not for our channel.
Oh. Ooh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I might as well say it.
No.
Why wouldn't I say it?
No,
You can't have it be a surprise because then nobody's gonna know. Listen, folks, my friend Drew from Fishy Biz, his wife just had twins. What was it? How long ago has it been? It hasn't been long. Couple weeks.
Remember the birthday.
It's been a bit, so their life is crazy at the moment because they have children already, and then they just had 2 more. So him and I were talking yesterday, and he's, struggling because of everything that's going on. And I said, you know what? I'm going to shoot a video and I'm going to put it up on your channel this weekend. And he said, huh? And I said, yep, I'm doing it. So that's what's going to happen. I'm going to upload. We have our upload on Sunday, obviously. But then there will be an upload on Sunday also on Fishy Business channel, and it'll be me. So that'll be interesting. I don't know how that's going to, if it's going to work or if it's going to be a huge bomb. I don't know.
He's going to lose like 50 subscribers.
He might. I mean, that would not surprise me at all. But yeah, the hope would be to have the reverse happen, but we'll have to see. So yeah, that's happening. And I will be talking about platies in that video.
Nice.
K Lower 181 vomited. That's what happens every week. It's just vomit. And
poops. Poop emojis.
No, this one is K Lower 181 is a vomiter, not a pooper. Ligate 12. I just lost 67 out of 70 cichlids by using the wrong paint for a background I made. Ooh.
That's sad.
Not sure if I should start over or give up any advice. Ooh.
Yeah.
You know, I worked with paints when I was before, you know, for half my life, I worked with paints, but I would not have the first clue of the type of paint to tell you to use on a fish tank. I did that. I made a background a long time ago. I painted it white, and it was a huge fail. But I don't remember what kind of paint I used. It's never been something that I've needed to do other than that one time. It was a huge fail. It was not the paint that was the fail. The paint held up pretty well. It was the fact that I was not a smart person. I didn't know what I was doing. And I didn't realize that you should either melt out or cut out the majority of the foam, because I had it was a lot. It was a lot of foam. It was a very thick background.
I remember that. Gosh, that was forever ago.
I even put in there J loves H, J
oh my
hearts
God. I
H.
remember that. Yeah.
I put the kids' initials and I kind of made them in the rocks, and it was cool. I was really proud of it, but I didn't get rid of all of the foam. So this thing was like a raft being held under the water with silicone. Didn't use enough silicone. And how this worked out this way, I have no idea, but the timing was perfect. I'm standing there, and this was like a couple days after I put the background in the tank. I'm standing there looking at it, and that background just went boom straight up out of the top of the tank. And it was one of the, I don't know the brand, but it had we sold the tank to Dave Burrell's brother. It was a 150-gallon tall, really, really nice tank, and it blew right through the plastic trim that's at the midway point of the tank that goes front to back. Blew that off, scared me to death, because with that being gone and with it being full of water, I started panicking, thinking the tank was going to blow up. What a nightmare that was. So, boys and girls, get rid of the majority of the foam if you make those backgrounds. That way it doesn't shoot out of the tank. I've never, in 10 years of making videos and doing live streams, I've never referred to the audience as boys and girls. I kind of feel like a schmuck right now.
Wow.
I don't know why that came out of my mouth. It would usually be, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway. So, yeah, it's a shame to hear about that ligate. I'm sorry about that. I wish I knew what to tell you. For me, what I did in that case, even though I didn't lose any fish as a result, I just said, well, screw it. And I just left the background out, and that was that. So it didn't hurt me any. It hurt my pride a little bit, but I didn't lose any fish. If I was in your situation, I would probably... I would probably just call it a loss and move on.
Take a step back, refresh.
Yep.
And don't quit. Don't give up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's threatening giving up the hobby, or is he, saying giving up on the idea of the background?
Oh.
But I don't know, because he wasn't clear on that. Don't give up on the hobby.
Yeah.
And, give up on the backgrounds? Maybe. That ain't going to hurt nobody.
I want to read this one real quick just because it's popping out at me.
Go ahead.
Alice B. asked, I just got 2 discus this morning. One got stressed and scratched its scales on the sand. Will its scales grow back okay? And can I do anything to help? What I would do, Alice, is just, if you haven't already, add some aquarium salt, because that seems to heal things up pretty good naturally without having to add medication for no reason. But of course, if you start to see like an infection setting in, then you would want to, do something like that, like an antibiotic. But for right now, I would just use salt. He'll be fine, or she'll be fine.
Jeff H. pooped on us. as he does every single week. Thank you for the poop. Furloughs Aquatics, John, I blame you for the amount of money I just spent on an ornate biker. Ooh, kidding. Got a 6-inch ornate.
They grow too.
6 inches might be like borderline big enough to go in that tank. I'm just saying. I'm not saying send it to me. I'm just saying,
I don't know.
I'd like it to be at least like 2/3 the size of the bikers that are in there now.
Or closer to the same size.
I was going to order one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call you out here, woman. I was going to order one, and somebody emailed me, and forgive me, I do not remember names. I don't remember what I was just thinking a minute ago. Somebody emailed me, very nice person, emailed me and said, hey, heard you were looking for ornate bikers. You should check out this particular company. And I did. And they had them.
That's funny.
At a reasonable price. I mean, when you talk about large bikers like the size of mine, you can expect to spend a considerable amount of money for those fish. And they were expensive, but I expected that. It was cheaper than what my limit was. I had a limit, like if somebody's selling one and they're charging this much, I ain't doing it. But if it's under that, I'll do it. And it was under that. You told me I wasn't allowed to do it.
Why?
And you were right, which is why I didn't put up with a huge argument. You're nervous about shipping a fish that large through FedEx or UPS or whatever.
Well, if it's overnight, that's one thing. But if
it would be.
Yeah.
It would be overnight. Of course it would be. That is a really big fish to ship. This particular company that I was looking at, they guarantee live arrivals and everything just like we do. Right. I'm sure shipping would have been pretty outrageous because you'd be shipping that fish in a very massive body of water.
Right.
But, I might still be able to convince you to let me do it. I don't know. But I want an ornate biker so badly. The number one thing I did agree with you on, though, was when you said that's really something you ought to see before you order. And I completely agree with that. Because this was not a scenario where it's like our website, for example, not promoting our website, but when you see a picture of a fish on our website, you order that fish, that's the fish you're getting.
Right.
With this one, it was a, Shutterstock ornate biker picture. And so I don't really know what they look like. And so, but I trust this person. I don't know this person. This person doesn't know me, but I trust this business that it would have been a beautiful fish. But you know what? She wouldn't let me do it, folks. So that's just the end of that. But
okay.
I mean, ultimately, I would like to bring a fish like that home, and and see that before I buy it. But they're hard to find. There's not a lot of fish stores around here that would sell that kind of fish. So
I know we got lucky with finding them at Schools of Fish.
And Schools of Fish got very unlucky because they did not want to sell those fish.
Right.
A couple of people are upset that they sold us those fish.
I have one. Kyrie Curry asked, I have 7 betas. Should I have 7 heaters as well? If you have 7 different tanks, then you should have 7 different heaters. But if you have 7 female betas in one tank, then you only need 1 heater. I hope that made sense. 1 heater per tank.
Yeah, if you put a heater in that tank, it's not going to heat that tank.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what that person was asking, though. But yeah, Zen Ginger got her Bubbles badge. Congratulations. Welcome. Mm-hmm. And then Jay, you know who you are, loves this channel, utilizing the free highlighted comment. Do you only get one of those per month, or is it one per live stream? I read something about it the other day. I don't remember looking at that. I wonder about that, because I'm sure they don't let it be where you do that every time you comment, you get the highlighted comment. But that is a new thing I found out for channel members, you get one highlighted comment either per live stream or per week or per month, or I don't know. I don't know how it is. That's very cool. Jeff H, again, one more here. I'm sorry. We had only one tank when I signed up. Now we have 5. And he blames us.
Oh.
Hashtag
sorry.
MTS.
It happens.
We have that effect on people. The hobby has that effect on people.
Yes. Well, we used to be the exact same way. I've actually scaled back a little bit with my tanks, so.
Yeah, it's getting to be about that time. And, you know, there's the chance of us moving in the not so distant future. That, you know, setting up more tanks and having to move those is not fun.
Well, there's so many betas to take care of. I just feel like it's unfair to new fish coming in if I were to bring in new fish. So
yeah, and moving all those betas is not going to be a big deal either. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of them, but
Fishyman6611 asked, what can you keep with the biker? How big of a tank?
Well, Oscars and Severums. The biggest thing with bikers, and I call them bikers, you might call them bishers, you call them whatever you want to call them. I'll still be your friend. Oscars are great, and Severums are great. I'm going to tell you that because, look, it's happening right there. But, you know, you can run into those Oscars that are jerks. Never heard of a jerk Severum. I mean, they're just the sweetest things. But the biggest thing with bikers is that you want to make sure that the fish you're putting with them is not going to hurt them. You don't really have to worry about them hurting the other fish in the tank unless they're small enough to fit in their mouth, because they will become food. It will happen. Guaranteed. They're not aggressive fish at all. They're not mean at all. But if they can fit it in their mouth, they're putting it in there. That's just the way it's going to work. So really, if you see mine, that's my Enlacari. He's always all over the place. When I walk up to the tank to feed them, they all come up, and he comes up with the Oscars and the Severums. It's really, really cute. One day I'll do a feeding fish video. And he's just kind of there mingling with them like, oh, it's feeding time. It's dinner time. It's really, really funny. But then he eats everything off the bottom. But anyway, never an issue with them at all. It's making sure that the other fish, like you wouldn't want to put them with dovi or flower horns, or, you know, fish that are kind of notorious for being bruisers and being mean. You wouldn't want to do that, because then they'll hurt your bikers, and most likely the bikers cost way more than they did, and that just wouldn't be fair.
Right.
Leo Contreras, John and Lisa, will a Buconodo and a Bucolepturus, I haven't heard of those in a long time, get along in a 125 or higher, or would that be too much of a risk? No, that'd be completely fine. 125 gallon is a perfectly acceptable size for those fish. They do get larger than most of your African cichlids. But I'm going to be honest with you, the biggest I've ever seen any Bucochromis at all is about 10 inches. I know the book will tell you they can get up to 14. I've never seen that. So yeah, 125, you're perfectly fine. Those two going together, I wouldn't expect there to be any problems.
Connor Johnston says, hi, I have one angel, one molly, and one beta in a 10-gallon. What should I do? Help me. Well, Connor,
get a bigger tank.
Well, you know what? Honestly, you could keep the beta in the 10-gallon, take the angel and the molly and put it in like a 29, 30.
29. Yep.
Add more mollies. There you go.
Yeah, a 10-gallon is too small for a angelfish. I'm sorry to be a jerk about it, but you know, sometimes you have to be blunt.
Maybe it was just, you know, a little baby from Pleco.
Little baby angel's perfectly fine, but
not for long, just temporarily.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we actually talk about that in this week's video, which is kind of funny.
Oh yeah,
this video coming up
true.
on Sunday. LC, curious how long a tank needs to cycle before adding one angelfish. On the topic of angels, it's an angelfish day. I know it takes about a month just wanting to do this right. P.S. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving. Thanks for the on-site. Thanks for the on-site. I don't know what that means, but happy Canadian.
Insight?
Maybe that is what it is. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Didn't realize that was happening right now. Didn't realize there was a Canadian Thanksgiving.
Well, everybody can have a Thanksgiving, you know.
Well, of course. I just didn't realize they had one. So the deal is this, LC, on Thanksgiving. It's not the politically correct answer. I've never been known to be a politically correct person, even though I kind of am a politically correct person. Anyway, it needs to cycle until it's cycled. I hate to tell it to you that way. Nobody wants to hear it that way, but that is the truth. If you're using tricks like seasoned media from an existing filter, or
I'm glad you said that, because the first thing that came to my mind when you said tricks was cereal. I'm just saying, you know,
it's a delicious cereal.
You have to be, you have to.
Or how about Twix, the candy bar?
Okay, well, you said tricks.
So there are tricks to speed up the cycle, but the sad reality, you said you want to do this right. You put that on here. I heard it takes about a month just wanting to do it right. If you want to do it right, what you're going to do is you will do something to facilitate the ammonia in the tank, whether that be throwing food in there or putting the fish in there. I mean, that's an option too, which will create that ammonia because the bacteria is not going to grow if there's no ammonia in there. So
just don't pee in your tank.
Don't pee in your tank. That's ridiculous. Let the ammonia spike, which is a breeze if you don't have fish in there. If you do have fish in there, then you got to get your primer complete, and you got to do your water changes, blah, 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 and then wait for that nitrite and then nitrate. And once you have your nitrates in there and no ammonia or nitrite, you're good. You're ready to go. Put as many angels in there as you want.
Yeah.
As long as it's not a 10-gallon tank and it's big enough to accommodate however many angels you select. Regina's phalanges, 9 months. Wow, time flies when you're having fun. How about that?
Thank you. Willow Ravenwright asked me, I am working on a beta sorority for a 29-gallon. What?
I said don't be a beta question.
How many would you recommend? Well, she highlighted my name. I saw it, so I want to answer. For a 29-gallon, I would say 6 or 7 with some ditherfish. Sorry. Had a scratchy throat. Yeah, 6 or 7 with a ditherfish.
Here. Lazy Bones Dog Walk-in Service, Workington. What a long and very cool name with the $2 and some kind of currency. It doesn't matter. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Will yellow labs live in a community tank? Okay, so here's the deal. Lazy Bones. Here's the deal.
Be nice.
I have never ever had a mean yellow lab.
Yeah.
I've never had one.
But it's still an Mbuna.
Why'd you say be nice?
Because you don't put them with community fish.
I know. But you also don't put peacocks with Oscars, and Jason did it, and they bred in the tank, and the Oscars didn't eat the fry.
You know, that's true. But
the rule book says one thing, but I've seen people successfully accomplish others. But the rule book would tell you not to put yellow labs in a community tank.
I mean, the water parameters, they need to be, they need to fit for both fish.
It is true. All I'm going to tell you, Lazy Bones, is you shouldn't do it, but it would probably work.
Well, I mean, Mbunas like to eat, vegetables, and
there is the difference in diet too. You are just making this. I'm trying to be nice to this guy.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, sometimes you've got to tell people.
I've been telling people like it is for 10 years on this channel. I get it. I'm just saying, if he had said red zebras, the answer would have been absolutely not.
And I'm not trying to be a jerk or anything. It's just that you want to do the right thing for the fish.
It's true. And I am definitely biased to yellow labs. Look at that beautiful scenery behind that beautiful woman sitting across from me. She is sitting right across from me. Here's my hand.
Freezing.
But it's always something with you. Yellow labs are fantastic. I am biased, 100% biased. I love them. You probably should not mix them in a community tank, but I've heard crazier things.
Okay. I mean, you're right.
I will turn the air conditioning off.
Thank you so much. I'm sitting here and I look like I'm mad and stuff.
Last week you were sweating and now you're cold. I just can't satisfy this
I don't
woman.
know. Yeah,
no one isolate that and make a meme out of it.
Dee Dee's Fin Den said, I received my package today. That light is sexy. The kid calls it the rainbow light because of all the colors. Thanks for the beta leaves. Love y'all. You're welcome.
Awesome.
I sent, a little gift for her betas.
Oh, good. Fish Guy became a member. Welcome, Fish Guy. It surprises me that name was never taken. Like, that name was available. Or I guess you can create channels under the same name, can't you? No, you can't. No, I'm not. You can't do it. Can't do it, folks. That just got really weird. I'm sorry, but Fish Guy, what a cool name. Welcome to the team. Stephen P. 2003, 19 months. Wow, that is called dedication right there. That is extreme support.
Awesome.
And
Yeah.
looking forward to meeting him in Dallas. I believe he said he's going to be there.
Oh, sweet.
And I watch a lot of YouTube, Stephen P.
Oh, yeah.
But
That's
there's a
true.
very, very
You do.
good chance I will not recognize you when you get there.
I will, but it might take a second. But I know what you look like, Steve.
This is how it's going to go. You're going to walk up, or maybe I walk up to you. I don't know. You might, who knows? But somehow we meet in Dallas.
Wow.
And you're going to say, it's Stephen P. And that's when I'm going to go, oh, yeah, I knew that. That's how that's going to work. That's how it's going to happen.
It's so funny. When we met Lefty for the first time, I knew exactly who it was. We were in the fish store. He happened to be in the same fish store in Chicago. And
because we were all there for Aquashella. It's not like
it
was this happening.
But it was so funny because we walk in, and I remember he had messaged me before and said he was at a fish store. I didn't know if it was the same one. And I hear, Lisa, and I turn around, it was Lefty, and it was like, Lefty! It was so cool.
Well, he was easy to recognize because he was on our stream that time, a members only stream.
Oh, yeah.
And so we did have face-to-face conversations with him, even though it was remotely. So it was easy to recognize him. But it happens all the time. And I feel bad about it because most of the time, so many of the people, I can't put a face to the name because maybe they've never made videos, or like Whip's World. We see him every week. We saw him from a mile away. We knew that was him.
I knew it was
just
him.
Because it was just fate. Of course, he's a big giant.
I saw him like way over there, and I was like, oh,
that has to be
hi.
Whip's World.
Yeah.
But most of the time, it's like, hey, don't you know me?
You mean sort of like what you did with Flip Aquatics that time?
We don't need to talk about that.
We
don't need to talk about that. That was when I humiliated myself, and I still feel guilty about that.
I was not there.
But yes, you're exactly right. That was Chicago 2015 when I met Rob for the first time, and I thought he was playing a joke on me because he was subscribed to our channel.
Right.
He was commenting on our videos and stuff. He was a brand new channel at the time, and I went up to him and I did what happens. I just start talking to him like I've known him for a long time because I feel like I do.
Right.
And he had absolutely no clue who I was.
That's so funny.
And I was like, oh, I'm John from KG Tropicals. And he was like, and I was like, you're subscribed. And then I said something really mean to him because I thought he was playing a joke on me, but he wasn't. It was real. And I still feel bad about it to this. Thank you so much for bringing that up.
You're
by the way.
welcome.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It was good to support my mood.
Maine's Tails Fur and Fin said, Lisa and John can't wait to hang out with you all again in Dallas.
Nice.
We can't wait to see you either, Jess. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Will the dogs and the husband that looks like the guy from Army of the Dead be there? That's all I want to know.
You just want the corgis to be there.
I love those corgis so much. Christopher Scott became or re-upped. I don't know if it's new or if you re-upped. Doesn't matter. Thank you so much, my friend, for either becoming a member again. I think the first badge is green, I feel like. So I feel like that might be a re-up of the membership. Thank you so much. Going to be bringing a lot of behind-the-scenes membership stuff to Aquashella. And I'm going to try something. And last time I tried this, didn't work out so well. I'm going to try to vlog the whole trip. We have a lot of things planned for this trip. We may be a guest. I've been invited to be a guest on somebody's podcast while we're there. There is an event that's happening Friday night for YouTubers. If you are a YouTuber, it doesn't matter what size channel you are. If you are planning on being there Friday, you should be there Friday because there's going to be an event Friday night exclusively for YouTubers, and it sounds really, really cool. You're going to want to be a part of that. So we've got that Friday night. We've got our live stream Thursday. I don't know when that podcast is going to happen. I'm talking on Saturday or Sunday. We've got the live stream at the event. There's so much stuff, escaping contests and so many things. And I'm going to try to vlog the whole thing. So it should be fun. But whether I do that or not, there will be a lot of fun behind the scenes stuff that I've regretted not doing in the past for channel members. So that's going to be a thing. You jump in whenever you want. Otherwise, I'm going to go to Steven Martinez. Super chatted $5 for no reason at all. Just here because I want to hear you say my name. Thank you so much for that, Steven. And there's two of them from the same person. No. Oh, wait. There is text on this one. Lisa, did you get my answer about the color of female betas I was looking for?
Wait a minute. Is this a tank talk question? I wonder.
I can tell you this.
I get questions a lot.
Stephen, I can tell you this. One of the things that happens, we do have the chat feature on our website. And when you say it's females that you were looking for, that tells me maybe you were on our website and used the chat feature on there. It does not give us names unless you put the name in there. So she would have no way of knowing that that was you that she was chatting with. So maybe that's what's going on there. I don't know. Rebecca Weigman, that's how I'm going to say it, became a member, and Danny Weshy has already been a member for 10 months. Wow.
Oh.
This channel is awesome. I really appreciate everything. Hi, I read English. Appreciate everything you two do for the hobby. You got to admit, that's kind of hard. Everything you two do. It's your fault I started my own channel. Hey.
Awesome.
You know what that tells me? That tells me you see her and I having fun. And you're like, you know what? I want to do that. I want to have fun too.
Did you say that was Danny Weshy that said that?
Yes.
Oh, he's an awesome person.
Yep.
I subscribe to him.
That's perfect.
Petroman 1185. Lisa sold 22-inch discus babies today. Ooh. Yay! I know I think he sent Brienne some discus too.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's really cool. Exciting.
We would love to breed discus.
I just don't have time. I don't have time to take care and watch and just do all the things. You know, it's not that I don't know how. I can breed fish. I can breed pretty much any fish that's in the fish room. I'm just not trying to do it because I just don't have the time or the room or the energy to take care of fry. Not right now. But watch out when we move because I'm going to have a lot.
Our dream is to be able to expand the fish room. when we move, which would allow us to do things like that, whether it be breeding projects or something like that. And we're really hoping to maybe have some help by then. And there's somebody that we've already talked to that I think it's going to totally depend on where we move to.
Yeah.
But our dream potential employee would be a great candidate for helping to maintain all of the tanks and all of that.
It's somebody that I actually taught fish keeping to.
Yep. And if that happens, that would be amazing. And that's the whole thing. It's hard to start up more tanks, to start breeding projects and all of this without them getting neglected. It's just because there's so many hours in the day. We already have a lot of tanks, a lot of private tanks that are not part of our business. And then you've got 400 beta tanks that are part of the business. So it's a lot. Having somebody to be able to come in and, once a week go through, do all the water changes and all that kind of stuff. Shoot, we could have as many personal tanks as we wanted at that point. Start breeding angels and discus and betas and everything else. Be beautiful.
The Real Madrid fan said, good morning from Kurdistan. Love you both. You helped me to change my view on people in the hobby. I used to judge a lot, but not anymore. And that's coming from a vegan person. Ooh, right on.
That's awesome. If there's one thing that if I could change anything, it would be no more mean people.
Yeah.
Maybe I think it's Real Madrid, by the way. I think that's how it's pronounced.
Oh.
I
have always seen that name and said Real Madrid.
Well, it's spelled real, but
Yeah.
I believe that particular team, because of where they're from, I believe it's pronounced Real Madrid, but you all can correct me if I'm wrong. But there's a lot of mean people, a lot of people that come across as mean. They don't mean to be mean, but they're maybe somebody that is real short with their answers and they're real snippy with their answers. They're not a mean person, but they just come across as mean. I just wish we could get rid of all of that. I don't mean everybody needs to be treated like snowflakes, because I think that's a mistake too, but I just wish there could be no more meanness. And if we were able to bring somebody to this side from the dark side, that's a beautiful thing. Thank you. Might be the best comment of the day.
Yes.
Xanadu, another proud member,
love that
shout
name.
out. Love the streams. Thank you so much for that, my friend. And thank you for being a member. ADHD Aquatics became a member. Welcome to the team. Andrew K., what is your favorite aisle at House of Tropicals? No brainer. I know exactly which one that is.
I know which one it is.
It's not even an aisle. It's a small section of one aisle. That's my favorite.
Are you talking about where the planet tank and the neon tetras are? That heavily planet tank with all those neon tetras
all the way on the right.
Oh, all the way on the right?
Yep.
Oh, I thought you were going to say all the way on the left.
No, that's where they usually have like the discus and the... No, not that aisle.
No, in the building all the way on the right.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant in that certain aisle, the left side of that aisle.
When you walk into House of Tropicals and you weave through the maze that is the beginning of that store, and then you get to the back where the tanks are, you go to the aisle all the way to the right. Where the ponds are.
Yes.
And it's that last aisle before you get to where all the tanks that are for sale are.
That's what I was talking about.
Because
but on the left side, right?
Well, yeah, mostly. But no, because they put a lot of cichlids and stuff like that on the right,
They usually have like the stingrays and,
oddballs, monster fish, big stuff is, whenever they have anything that is unique or large, they put them down at that aisle. And that is 100% of the time the first place I go, every single time we go to that store. I love that one so much.
I start on that side too, but my favorite would be the one on the opposite side.
Where the discus and all that, and the shrimp and the...
Before you get to the shrimp, though, it's like everything before the shrimp. Like the nanofish and the angels and the discus and... The Rominos Tetras and all those.
I also really like, and this is going to come out of nowhere.
There's the African cichlid section.
It's true.
Yeah.
But I really like the aisle that has freshwater on one side and saltwater on the other. Where you got that footage of that puffer puffing up. There's always really cool saltwater fish in there. Every single minute that I've been in this hobby, I've been intrigued by saltwater tanks, and it's one of those things I like to just experience through other people. But if I'm in a store and they have really cool saltwater stuff, I'll always check it out, and that aisle always looks so good. They always have such cool stuff.
So funny when Susie Q and I went to that fish place, and I was, I did all the recording for it because I do have a video coming out shortly. Oh
yeah.
I got footage of all the freshwater stuff, plants and all that kind of stuff, all the materials. And then I was like this with the camera, just walked to the door of the saltwater area. And I was like, didn't even go from tank to tank because I'm not a saltwater person. It was
That's funny. But I love House of Tropicals so much. We haven't been up there in a while. We haven't been avoiding it. But when was the last time we were there?
Wow.
It's been a while.
There were masks involved, so it's been within the year.
I'm trying to think of what we went up there for. I don't know.
You
Who cares?
were looking for rocks for this tank, I think.
Yeah, and we got a bunch of B-roll that day too. So it wasn't and we went to the other store too. Was that the same day we went to the other, the exotics something?
No, I think that was
London
prior.
Town?
I thought it was prior. I
don't know. Tesla Killdozer, John, I purchased a 75 from Petco for half off. I'm sorry, I just put 2 brand new pieces of gum in my mouth. That was really dumb. I'm going to keep Severums and what is that? Gymnogeophagus?
Oh.
I've never heard of Gymnogeophagus. But then again, I just started in this hobby last week. While I was there, I ended up with purchasing my first Tiger Oscar. Bravo. Named him Bob the Bruiser. Beautiful. Love it.
That's perfect. Name an Oscar Bob.
Where's my tiger? Yeah. There he is.
And make sure the background is blue.
Right there. There's my tiger. And then the albino tiger, of course. Still need an albino red, but I don't know if I'm ever going to get one because I kind of feel like that tank is full. And if there's any room left, I want it to be for that ornate biker.
Willow Ravenwright. Discus, another dream tank of mine. If I ever move into a bigger house, I would love to have a discus tank. Also at KG Tropicals as an aside. Maybe that's just spelled wrong. Are you still looking to stay in Virginia? I hope so.
No, that's right. As an aside, that's right.
Okay. I don't read.
So here's the deal. When it comes to staying in Virginia, neither of us are 100% like we have to leave Virginia.
Wait, that we want to leave?
We must leave Virginia. Neither one of us are saying that, but neither one of us are also opposed to leaving Virginia. We've got grandchildren here. All of our kids live here. Our entire families outside of this house are here. So, it would have to be the perfect spot. Like there would have to be a house that has a big warehouse building and then a smaller building that can be used as the beta house. And then there's another building that could be a studio. Like if we found something like that and it was in our price range and it was in another state, we going. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't think we've made this official, but as far as I'm concerned, the only way that would happen would be if it was Northeast North Carolina, or actually all of northern North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, or West Virginia. We're not going any farther than that. The price of houses just gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper the more inland you go. But we can't. We're not going to move 8 hours away from everybody. It's just not going to happen.
Oh,
so,
not 8 hours.
I mean, a couple hours is one thing.
A drive is one thing. A plane ride is another.
Yeah, I want to be close enough to everyone in the family to where if there was some kind of an emergency, we can get in a car and we can be there in a couple hours instead of, well, I'll catch the next flight. I don't want to have to deal with that. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
We're looking at something this weekend.
We are. You weren't supposed to say that.
Well, it doesn't matter.
We are looking at one this weekend, and it has exactly what I just said.
Yeah.
Big building, smaller building, yeah, it's there.
And a cat rescue. Anyway, okay. George Prague says, I'm going to House of Tropicals tomorrow. Have fun.
Awesome.
And Jimmy P's Aquarium said, at KG Tropicals, just my opinion, but I have no room for political talk with hobbyists. There are Facebook groups for that. Agreed. Yes.
The point of a hobby like this is to get away from those things.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. As far as I'm concerned, the second politics comes up, it's time to go.
All right, so move along.
Yeah. Rico Stand is here finally, so we can start now.
I don't know what we would have done without him.
It took 50 minutes.
And he streams tonight too, I believe at 11:45, I think. 11:30 or 11:45.
I mean, we're on the same time zone. What are you doing up that late streaming?
Because it's Rico Stan.
I will never be a guest on that stream again.
Not
at that time.
Not at that time.
TB became a member. What a cute name. Welcome, TB. Welcome to the team. ADHD Aquatics with the $2 love kitty. That is adorable.
Cute.
Thank you so much for that. Let me get one more. Stephen P. Again, I'm going to be wearing my own branded shirt, and I'm hard to miss to begin with. I kind of am hard to miss too because it's just the bald thing, and as long as you don't mistake me for Jason, which happens every single time, I'm pretty easy to catch too. And
I'm easy to miss because I just look like some random dark-haired woman, but if I'm with him, people are like, oh, it's Lisa and John.
I did not say this earlier, and I'm going to say it now. We, at least I, will be wearing our new shirts in Dallas.
Oh,
At least until I put on the Walter White costume.
Oh, you just said your costume.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before. Everybody knows that. What I was going to do was the yellow hazmat suit because, of course, I would do that. But instead, I decided to take advantage of the bald head and all of that and just do straight up Heisenberg. That's what I'm going to do. I bought all the stuff to be Heisenberg if Heisenberg was 100 pounds heavier than he was in the movie. That's what I'm going to be. I got the glasses, I got the hat, the pork pie hat, and the jacket and the shirt and all that. Yep, that will be Heisenberg.
Melissa Jeswald said, Jackson fish are doing great. Well, I'm glad because I've been worrying about Jax. I'm glad he's doing better.
I meant to say this when I talked about the shirts. I'm picking up the shirts tomorrow.
Oh, thanks for telling me.
Yeah, well,
I can't
I'm
wait.
telling you now.
And I've got hoodies.
Well, they're just for us, though.
Oh.
We'll see if people want them, and then maybe we'll get them. But yeah, I'm picking up the new shirts tomorrow. I don't think they'll be on the website tomorrow. Maybe they will. But yeah, really excited about those. We'll be wearing them on the live stream, or at least I will, because I always wear black shirts. Be wearing the new shirt next week. So cool about that. Or excited about that.
Big Belly 1269 said, John hasn't mentioned me in weeks. It's hurtful.
That's Rico Stan. We all know who that is.
Okay, I was just saying, you're hurting people's feelings.
Where did I get that from? I was on that was when I was streaming alone, wasn't it? Or was I a guest on somebody's stream?
No, you were streaming alone. You were, because
Big
I got the
Belly
message
1269.
and it was so funny. Yeah.
Imperial Customs, how big should a dwarf Pleco get? I'm worried my Pleco is not a dwarf. He's 12 inches long.
Oh.
You have reason to worry. Yeah, that is, I don't know any plecos that get that big other than the common pleco and the royals. There might be more. Like vampires can get to like 10, but a foot long, it's probably a common, and it's too late to turn back. You got them now.
It's sort of like how they advertise teacup pigs, and they end up being regular sized pigs when they get older.
So if your pleco is that big now, it's probably going to keep on going. And if it's a common pleco, they can make it to about 2 feet. It's rare that you see them that big, but they're out there. And yeah, it can happen. So if that's too big for you, might want to start looking into rehoming that big giant fish, and then look for bristlenose. Look for the beautiful L134s that I've only got one, but he's in there and he's gorgeous when he decides to come out. Something like that. But bristlenose, they're going to, in their biggest form, will be 6 inches or so. And that's big for them. So, but they're not necessarily considered to be a dwarf. They're just smaller and citrus.
Athi and Shauna asks, does anyone know if we can buy fish at Aquashella, or is there a nice fish store in Dallas? Well, Zen Ginger may be able to answer you about the fish store, but at Aquashella, a lot of times there's fish for sale.
Tons.
There might not be. Well, it just depends on what you're looking for. So
yeah, I mean
there's
it's not
always betas.
There is it's never, well, every single one's different because you have your major players, like your big companies that will go to almost every single event. Like CJ is at every event. Normally, there would be companies like Fluval and Marineland and Hikari, and they don't go to Aquashellas. And I think that's a humongous mistake. Stop being so stuck up and go to those events where people will see you. The big companies like the Marinelands and the APIs and all of the ones that were at the Aquatic Experience but don't go to Aquashella. At least I haven't seen any of them at any of the Aquashellas that I've gone to. And that's a mistake because that's where everybody's going. And guess what? Aquatic Experience ain't around anymore.
But wouldn't it be a little awkward for API to be at a Fritz event? Or no?
Dr. Tim's is there.
I don't know anything about Dr. Tim's.
I mean, Fritz and API were both at Aquatic Experience.
Okay.
I mean...
never mind. You don't see my point.
No, I do totally see your point. But the thing is, if the organizers at Aquashella were only going to allow one vendor for each particular thing, there'd only be like 6 vendors there.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, again, if you go back to the Aquatic Experience,
I miss
all
the
of them were
Aquatic
there.
Experience. I know there's some people that didn't like the Aquatic Experience, Bob, but I really liked the Aquatic Experience and I miss it. They weren't like the Aquashella where everything was, fun, like, more kid friendly, I guess, you know what I mean? But like, it's more fun and colorful and just, I don't even know how to explain it, but Aquashella is like super fun. And Aquatic Experience, I think, was more, I don't know. It wasn't not family friendly, but it was just more
formal, more business.
Fish. Well,
see, I feel the exact opposite. I feel like Aquatic Experience was meant more for businesses. It was more of a formal, like a snobby. Not that that was a bad thing, but it was more.
It wasn't something that you're going to be like, oh, come on, Andrew or Jenny, let's go, to the Aquatic Experience. You guys are going to have a lot of fun and you can start your first fish tank. It wasn't like that where.
But Aquashella is.
Aquashella is. I mean, everything about Aquashella is a lot of fun and there's a lot to offer and there's speakers and there's a lot. But I really did like the Aquatic Experience, even though it didn't have all that other, stuff. There was still stuff. it drew me back in as far as wanting.
I enjoyed it. I mean, the thing is, with an event like that, you could have 0 vendors. If it was just the people gathering in a central location, I would like it just as much.
Yeah.
As I'm not trying to sound like a brown noser here, but that's what I go there for. There has been events and you said this happened to you in Chicago. I didn't even walk around the whole thing.
I didn't see anything
because I was just there with the people, and it's fun to do that because I don't have.
I regret that because I really did want to walk around and see stuff, but it just didn't
I make it
happen.
a point to do that now. I'm like, I don't care what's happening. If I'm not on the schedule to do something, I'm walking around. Right. And I usually make it 5 feet, and somebody stops me, and that's fine.
And I don't care about that.
But that's what happens. That's what it's for. It's cool. Anyway. Yeah. Kathleen Queenan, thank you for my dandelion female number 9. Aww. I love her.
Good. I'm glad.
Love to hear that very, very much. Thank you for that. Tactical Jackalope, can you guys order some of the higher end Haiger lights? I don't really want to make Jeff Bezos richer. I'm a big fan of the Haiger lights, as I have said before. And we have them on our site, not the super ultra high end ones that they have, which are not outrageously expensive, not at all. Look, again, this is not going political, but everybody understands the supply chain issues that we all have right now. It is an issue. I put in an order for a restock of the sponge filters. And it's been months. It was months for the first order. It's a real difficult thing. I'm basically going to put in another order for the sponge filters the second this batch shows up, because it's just impossible. It's impossible to get those things. If I add higher end lights, they are not going to be the Haiger ones. They're going to be these. And they are ultra high end compared to the Haiger ones. Not downing the Haiger ones. We sell the Haiger ones. I love the Haiger ones. But if I add a higher end light, it's going to be these. These are made in America. They are American made by hand. They're not made by big giant robots and big machines. They're made by hand. I can't wait to go to their factory, even though Tulio doesn't really want me to go there because he's like, there's nothing to see. It's just a bunch of guys building lights. But I'm like, that's what I want to see. I want to see that. So never really going to be a supply chain issue there. But, there you go. If we get higher end lights, it's going to be those. These are the Luma lights, which is manufactured by the brand Reef Bright. So there you go. Jeff H., help, my Africans aren't well. All of them are quivering and flashing a lot. Most hang out in one quarter at the top, like they're struggling to breathe. No white poop, no sunken belly, no aggression. General cure, no help. 20 parts per million, 7.6 pH. What's next? Whoa. I would immediately go ammonia when I hear those symptoms, breathing heavy. I mean, I would go with ammonia. I could go lack of oxygen. What's going to make them breathe heavy? What's going to make them all breathe heavy?
Ammonia or too much medication. Certain medications take the oxygen out of the tank.
Most of us, including me, don't have oxygen meters, and I don't. Does that even exist? I don't know. But normally, if a fish is gasping for air, the very first thing that I look for is ammonia. And typically, when a fish is gasping for air, you can look at the water and tell it's got ammonia in it. It's like gray. It's got a haze to it.
Yeah, haze.
And that's usually a no-brainer. Boom, you start your water changes. You start doing all of that. If it's not ammonia, then the next thing I would look at is oxygen. Is there enough water movement? African cichlids, they need a lot of agitation, a lot of water movement. They're not these, special little snowflakes. They need to be pushed around. They want excess water movement. So it could be that because you have as many fish in the tank as you do, And I don't know how many you have, but you said all of them. So I'm looking at a pretty good sized group of them. Maybe there is a depletion of oxygen in that tank. Maybe there needs to be more agitation. Stick an air stone in there, see if that makes a difference. And if it does, then I would start looking into things like wave makers, power heads, or a couple of air stones, something to get that water moving more than it is now. Upgrading of the filter, perhaps. Those are the very, very first things that I would do.
Right. Agreed.
You better.
Whatever.
David Ehrlich, have you ever done saltwater? And if so, would you do it again? I love getting asked this question because I love answering this question. And it happens almost every week.
Yeah.
Yes, I have. I enjoyed every bit of it except for the coral part. I think corals are amazing. I think they're awesome. I'm just not good at them. So, but the fish, I loved keeping the fish. And will I do it again? I definitely will. Will I put it on our channel? I don't know, because those videos seemed to hurt our channel more than they helped it. Here's the thing. I'm gonna go a little political here.
No, you can't.
Not that political.
Okay.
There is a major separation, a big giant wall put up between freshwater YouTubers and saltwater YouTubers. And I think it sucks. I think it's terrible. It is just as much our fault as it is theirs. I'm not going to sit here and say saltwater people are all snobs and they're, no, it's not. We are not embracing them just as much as they don't embrace us. I think that's a problem. I would love to see more cross-pollination, saltwater tanks and freshwater tanks. I'll tell you somebody who is doing that and is doing it well is George from Coralfish 12G. Dude's about to hit 1 million subscribers too. Good for him. He's done a lot of freshwater videos. He goes, he does it all. And I think that's awesome. And I think that's the way it should be. You have a lot of freshwater people that are afraid to mess with saltwater because of what I just said. I know Joey has a saltwater tank now, and I have not talked to him about that saltwater tank, but I've heard him make comments about it. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for his channel, but I see that. I see freshwater channels that just don't want to mention saltwater. And you almost never see saltwater channels that say anything about freshwater. I think that's bad. I think that's a problem. I think we all need to grow up and just all be friends. All of them. Every single saltwater person I've ever met at these events is always as friendly and as hospitable as can be. We all get along. We have fun. We laugh. We break each other's balls. It's a good time. But for some reason, there's this wall up in YouTube. And I think that's a problem. I think we should make that wall go away. We should break it down. Tear down that wall, Mr. Gorbachev. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Are you done?
Listen.
Oh.
Me not doing a saltwater tank right now has nothing to do with YouTube. It just has everything to do with what we've been kind of talking about this whole stream. We don't have space for it right now because everything's full, and I don't want to set up another tank that I will then have to move whenever we move. So when we do move, if we gain some space, I've said it 1 million times, I would love nothing more than to do like a 150 gallon saltwater fish only tank. Yes, bring it to me. I'm all in. Let's go. There.
Okay. So, shout out to Brandon Wood. He said, my wife just rescued a female cat. We already have a male cat who wasn't fixed yet. So everyone decided to go in heat. Been there.
Oh boy.
And after $400 this week, everyone is now fixed.
Bravo.
But I hope it wasn't taken out of your fish allowance.
Oh.
That could be bad. But you know what? You did a wonderful thing. I'm so happy to hear that.
Went to a good cause if it did.
Yeah, I'm really happy to hear that.
Stephen Martinez said it was from Tank Talk.
Okay, then I know exactly who you are. I am uploading females all this week. I've been uploading them every day. Unfortunately, I upload 15, 10 gets old. I mean, it's just, I can't keep them long enough to look like I have, a good amount. But I would just keep looking at the site. And next week, I'm getting a very large shipment in. So if you want to wait, I email me at kgtropicals@gmail.com and send that list, and I will keep my eyes open for those specific fish for you. There you go.
Somebody put up a review of a product on our website today. They gave it 3 stars.
Oh.
And I can't really talk about this unless I say what the product is. The product was Extreme Scrapers.
Oh, the food, yeah.
The algae wafers. And gave it 3 stars. And the review said, I haven't used this yet because I've got plenty of algae in my tank, but it's here when I need it. So why does that warrant 3 stars? I don't understand that. Why do that review? I haven't seen that movie, but I don't like it. That just doesn't make sense to me. So it's not up on the website because it's not fair. It's not fair to review a product you've never used. I don't know why I just went on that tangent. Tactical Jackalope, welcome to the team. Became a member today. Thank you so much. Liquid Zoo, Only Fins. Can we vote Lefty 3213A as an employee? That'd be a long commute for him.
Yeah, but you know what? I think it would be a lot of fun to have Lefty as an employee.
Of course it would.
Yeah.
I don't know that we could afford him. I mean, he's got he's got like 19 degrees. I don't know if we can afford somebody that is that educated.
He's definitely educated, but his reasoning makes a lot of sense.
Melissa Jeswald with the #1 fan pair. Thank you so much, Melissa. Every week she does that. We are so
thank you,
spoiled.
Melissa.
Othie and Shauna with the Haya kitty. Getting all the kitties and the pairs today. It's beautiful.
Yay.
Thank you. Brian Isaacs, I'm planning on upgrading my 5-gallon tank to a 30-gallon tank. Currently have 5 cherry barbs, 5 black neon tetras, and 2 amano shrimp. What would you add more of, the same or different fish? I am a big monster fan of all 3 of those inhabitants of that tank. So I would increase the numbers because of course I would. Cherry barbs are amazing. Black neons are amazing. Amano
Barbs
shrimp.
are so underrated.
What are?
Barbs. I mean, they really are. But they're cool little fish.
Denison barbs are one of the prettiest fish in the hobby. Period.
I mean, I'm not going to go that far, but I'm just saying.
Oh, they are.
Underrated.
They definitely are. You
Okay.
don't even have to. It doesn't matter what you say. They are.
Oh.
I would increase those numbers, and because why wouldn't you? Because that would look awesome. That's exactly what I would do. If you start adding a whole bunch more fish, is it going to take away, like other fish? I mean, is it going to take away from those? It could. So why not highlight those by doubling the amount of every kind of fish that you have? That would be awesome. That's what I would do. Lily the Catfisher is back. Love you and your channel. Take my money. Thank you so much. Did the date go well with Bob?
Yeah, how did that go?
It's a long
You noticed
flight.
she changed her name to the Catfisher,
What was it last week?
Lily,
Just Lily?
because you remember I joked around saying, "Oh, she could be
The
catfishing."
Catfisher. That is
Yeah,
hilarious.
I love
Bravo
it.
to you, Lily. That's
love
what an interesting troll. You know what? I think her and Bob are a perfect match. Because that's exactly the kind of thing Bob would do.
Just wondering who's moving where.
Yeah, it's a long trip.
So Palmer Aquatics asks, "Who put a quarter in John?" LOL.
Put a what?
I guess you were talking a lot or something. I don't
Oh,
know.
I always talk a lot. That's what I do. People usually complain about it, and I don't know. I go off on tangents. That's my thing. That's what I do, and it's fun. We got an hour and a half to kill, so
Even still?
Just wait.
Oh.
Wait until there's about 4 minutes left when I go on my
What
rant.
about my poll?
Well, it's too late for that now.
Oh, baloney.
I'm way behind here.
I'll do it real quick.
Okay.
All right.
But let me just say this, though. Wait till there's about 3 minutes left and I talk about the worst movie I've ever seen that I watched the other day.
Oh, it wasn't that bad.
It was terrible and I hated it. And the people who made it should be ashamed of themselves.
No, it wasn't that bad.
Yes, it was.
Okay, so this poll is from last week. It's not this week's poll. It's a poll where I asked, how long do you leave your aquarium lights on? It got, as of today, 22,000 votes and 395 likes. So I told you the question, but the answers were, I don't use aquarium lights all day, just a few hours, or sometimes I forget to turn them off. And the winner was just a few hours at 51%. The second was all day at 34%. The third was sometimes I forget to turn them on at 9%. And the last one was I don't use aquarium lights at 7%. So, 51% at just a few hours being the top one sounds right. One thing I didn't do, I'm not even going to mention it. We'll get there. So I like to read the comments off for some of the people that commented. And Jake's Aquatic World said, I leave mine on for 10 hours and there's minimal algae and I get to enjoy the tank. Pixelated Moz said, needs a depends on the tank option. My different tanks have a different schedule for the most part. Have different schedules for the most part. And that makes sense because not all tanks need the same amount of light. You might have a planet tank, you might have nothing as far as plants go, like a lot of mine are, so I don't even have to turn the lights on half the time. Martin Barkaway says, I have a lot of plants, so around 13 hours, but it's on auto sunrise, sunset, so not full light all the time. That sounds good, especially for a planet aquarium. Philip Bruni says, missing, I forgot to turn them off. So I just put forgot to turn them on. Yeah, I think we've all been there. Maple Street Aquatics said 8 hours, all heavily planet tanks. Crystal Pelletier, guess I'm the only one who forgets to turn them off at night. And that is not true, Crystal, because so does Philip Bruni and Matt Poole. And Mark Sturlson said, we need other as an option. And that's what I forgot. Last week,
You always have an other.
I always put other. And the first person to call me out on not having an other was Rico Stan. He was that guy. He was that guy. And then followed quite a few other people. You know, I miss putting other, and I won't do it again. I'm so sorry. But that was a fun poll.
All right, let me get through these real quick because then I have to go on this rant about this movie. It was a terrible movie.
It wasn't that bad.
And if you watched this movie and you liked it, you have bad taste. Oinkmaster Supreme Forever, even you, if you liked it.
I loved
how
it.
LGA for a tank? How LGA for a tank with sweet juvenile male veiltail beta and mystery snail?
Huh?
I don't know what how LGA.
How large?
Maybe.
How
Maybe.
large a tank?
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
Okay.
Or minimum size for the same beta to grow to place in community tank instead.
Can you start from the beginning?
I'm gonna say that's large. How large a tank? People need to type words. How large a tank for sweet juvenile male veiltail beta and mystery snail, or minimum size for number 4, the same beta to grow to place in community tank instead?
Mm-hmm.
It's a really difficult question to
So what size tank should a veiltail and a snail be
Let's
put
go
in
with that.
until they can go into a community tank?
Let's go with that. Yes.
I mean, I would say a 5-gallon is fine if it's temporary. Well, I mean, 5-gallon is fine.
5 gallons fine forever.
You know, and if you want to put it in a community tank later, you can. So
There you go.
I hope that was the correct answer for your question.
And Oink Master, I love your name on YouTube. Not trying to give you a hard time, but that was difficult to read. Come on, man. Well, let's type words. That's a long question. There was like 4 words you didn't type. It would have taken you an additional 3.2 seconds to type those words. Help an old man out and type the full words next time. But thank you. Amanda Metz became a member. Welcome to the team. Whips World. 2 different kitty cats because he's Whips World.
Aw, he's so sweet.
Sean Damon. Hey, Lisa, John, love y'all. Love all y'all do. I have MTS. Have 7 tanks from 125, 75, 55, 29, 20 longs, and 150 pond tub. Love the hobby.
Wow.
Yes, you do. And I love all of those size tanks. I like the small tanks too, but the big ones, that's where it's at. That's where the money's at. That's where you lose all your money. Jeff H. 11 fish, 75-gallon Fluval FX6, Airstone, and Wave Maker. 0 ammonia, 0 nitrite. Added last 4 fish 2 weeks ago. I'm stumped. Could we be talking about ick since it's a brand new? You just added new fish into it? Because heavy breathing, lethargy. I always like to say it lethargy, but that's wrong. Lethargy.
I say lethargy.
They're lethargic. How about that?
Okay.
Heavy breathing could definitely, it's definitely a symptom of ick. It's not only white spots. So yeah, I mean, I would get on right now, start providing those fish with some good clean water, doing some good sized water changes. Clean water is a great medicine for fish. It's so impossible to diagnose these kind of things. But yeah, that's what I would start doing. You said you use General Cure already. I mean, I would think of something maybe like a Metro, which I know General Cure has, but if you went with one like Seachem has a straight up metronidazole, which we used to sell, but we don't sell anymore. And not because it's a bad product, but just because we carry different stuff now. I would try something like that. You know, that's getting into the harder stuff, but I don't know what's wrong with your fish. So you've tried the other things. They didn't work. It might be time to try something a little heftier. Sarah Johnson and White River Angler became members. Welcome to the team. We are super excited to have you. Whips World. Hey, John, referring back to last week, you know my name is Whiplash Sindleton. What did we determine? That's like a Dudley Do-Right thing or something? I don't know what we determined on that, but yeah, if that's your name, I'd love to meet your parents because they're some cool people.
Yeah.
That named you that. Fernando Rosales, KG, do you where I can get replacement parts for CJ Echo? My adapter where the hose connects to the output cracked. I put too much tension. If you go to their website and you go down to the bottom, they actually do have parts listed, and I think you can order direct from them. We don't have any CJ parts, and we don't carry that product anyway. So, but I believe they do on their website. If you email info@cjusa.com, they might be able to direct you in the right direction of where you can order those kind of parts. Melissa Jeswal, John, everyone tells me I talk too much as well. We can't help it if we're the smartest, funniest person in the room.
Oh, please.
I will never be the smartest person in the room. Funniest person maybe sometimes, but smartest, that will never be me. I can promise you that.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
All right, I want to tell you about this movie, folks.
Okay. It's going to go from 483 down to 400.
No, you all need to stay in here and you all need to listen to this because I am giving you a service right now. You need to understand that I'm doing you a favor here by telling you about this. It's the last 5 minutes of the stream, so we can talk about things that are not fish. I watched a movie. It is so rare for me to hate a movie. It's so rare because I'm able to disconnect and just suspend disbelief and just be like, okay, I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to watch a movie. It's very rare that I say I do not like a movie. We watched a movie Saturday night that I hated. I told you immediately when it was done, I said, I want to write a letter.
Yeah.
I said, I want to write David Chase a letter. And if you know who David Chase is, you already know what I'm talking about, because before Saturday night, David Chase was a hero of mine, because David Chase is responsible for the Sopranos series on HBO, which Sopranos, Breaking Bad, you ain't going to get any better than that as far as I'm concerned. Best television that has ever been produced. And don't make me pick one over the other, because I can't do it. I love them both so much. The new movie, what is that stupid movie called anyway? The Stupid People in New Jersey or something it's called? What's it called? The Stupid Saints or something? Don't watch that movie. It's terrible. Okay. If you're not a Sopranos fan, you can watch that movie and you will not hate it as much as I did. You'll just watch that movie and at the end you'll go, why did I watch that? What? But if you're a Sopranos fan, I've watched the entire series like 4 times all the way through. I'm not going to say I'm the biggest fan in the world, but I'm a really, really, really big Sopranos fan. I hated every single minute of that movie. It made absolutely no sense. Nothing can... Oh, the ending. I'm not going to spoil it, but the ending made 0 sense. Why would that happen? We knew it happened, but why would it be that person that made it happen? So stupid. So stupid. It's impossible to do it without doing spoilers. And I don't want to spoil it because there might be some person that has bad tastes and watches it. Or maybe they get duped like I did. Oh my God, cool.
Or maybe they don't think it's so bad like me. I don't think it was so bad.
You watched The Sopranos one time.
No, I watched
it when it was live, which means it was 9 years ago.
9 years ago. It was the 90s when I watched it.
I mean, when
like
what it ended in
few,
2007?
I watched the first 3 seasons. So it would have been 97, 98.
So you don't even have a seat at this table then when it comes to talking about it. You only watched 3 seasons. You were just getting started.
I know what
series.
it's about though.
I want to see if anybody's in the chat talking about it, because I'm upset, folks. I'm upset about this movie because it was a... All right. I'm going to say one more thing about it. And I don't know the person's name. And I don't mean any disrespect. But one of the best characters in the movie is Salvatore, or Sil, or the show, played by Stephen Van Zandt in the Sopranos Sil, the consigliere. He's the best guy in the whole show. Him and Paulie Walnuts. Listen, the actor that played Sil, I think he's probably pretty embarrassed right now. And listen, I have nothing but respect for artists. It's very difficult to do what you do. I don't know how somebody convinced you to do that, because he looked like Pee Wee Herman. Come on, you have to admit, he looked like a cartoon character. Stephen Van Zandt had to have watched that show and was like, I can't believe they did that. What's that guy doing? Come on.
It wasn't that bad.
It
wasn't that bad.
Also, don't watch the movie if you think it's about the origins of Tony Soprano, because it's not.
Will you stop? Because there are people that haven't watched it.
That's fine. All I'm saying is, if you think it's an origin story for Tony Soprano, it's not. The movie's about Dickie Moltisanti, which is a great idea. They talked about him in the show. It's Christopher's father. That's a great character to center the movie around.
I think that the movie, if some people liked it more because they went into it with different expectations than you did. You went into it with totally different expectations, and it wasn't what you liked. So I don't think everyone's going to feel the same way you do. That's all I'm saying.
I watched it because I am an avid fan of the series. I love the story. Like I said, best television show ever made that's not named Breaking Bad. It is superb. And that's why I'm not going to not watch it. I watched El Camino too, which you didn't watch, but that was the movie made after Breaking Bad. And that movie wasn't great, but it was good.
So wait, there was a movie made about Breaking Bad?
There was the movie, which the difference between...
So how did you feel about that one?
It, compared to that stupid movie, was great. Okay. Was it as good as the series? No, but it was good, and it kind of wrapped some things up. It answered some questions that you had about the series. Mm. But the El Camino started the second the series ended. So it was like a continuation of the series. Whereas this is a prequel. Mm. And Tony Soprano is a very young person in the very beginning, like a little guy. And then he's like a teenager halfway through in the second act or whatever. But he's barely in it. It's not about Tony Soprano. It's about Dickie Moltisanti.
I can't wait to hear what you're going to say about the prequel to Game of Thrones.
That's going to be a completely different story. There's not going to be any characters in that were in the original series other than their names.
Their family.
Okay, but it's not an origin story for the Targaryens. It's just about the Targaryens. Anyway,
I think I'm going to really like that one too.
I think I will too. But David Chase, you should be ashamed of yourself that you put your name on that movie, because that was blaspheme. That was terrible. I'm sorry, because I don't like criticizing art, but that art was trash. I'm sorry. I'm a religious fan of The Sopranos, and you failed me on that one. That's it. I don't need to say anymore.
387 people. We lost 100 people because of you.
But that's what happens. They're all going over to Chattanooga Ed now.
Told you.
So ADHD Aquatics, let me answer these real quick. Said, hello, please help me figure out why I'm being put in timeout so I can avoid it. It makes me sad. I have not been following the chat. I am very sorry about that, but I know one of the things that the system will do automatically is if you're putting up too much, the system will think you're spamming and they will stop you from doing that. The system will automatically put you in timeout. So that might be... that
happens, like certain words that are said or certain sayings or something in Tank Talk. Like I've helped somebody get out, well, actually Lefty, I think, was the one that helped get someone out of like Tank Talk Facebook jail once, but there's just sometimes there's nothing you can do if they say something, not meaning it the wrong way, but they say it. You can't always fix it.
Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to do with something that you've said or that you really did anything wrong. I don't know, because I haven't seen it, so I don't know what that is. But last one here, and then we got to get off because we're already impeding on Chattanooga Ed's time. Evan Rifkin, liking the member milestone feature. Yes, that is very cool.
I like it too.
Question, how to tell Frontosas apart? I bought some in Pimbwe Blues, but I think I actually got sold Burundi. Oh. Burundi. I say Burundi, but it should be Burundi. Those are very difficult, the Burundi and the Mpimbwes. The Mpimbwes, I think, are a little bit more bluish, where the Burundi would be a little more pale blue. Those are difficult to tell apart. The only ones that are real easy to tell apart are the Black Widows, which have a very distinct pattern to them.
Really cool.
But yeah, that's a difficult one, Evan. And maybe next year, Chicago Aquashella, we can figure that out together.
Yeah.
Because I unfortunately don't have any time. But that might be a good video someday to do something like that.
I know a tank that you could use.
I know, and I would do it too. And then Loop Noop Hoopy Oops came in, just wants to hear the name, and I love saying the name, so that works out really, really well. Oh. I know I've made a whole lot of people here mad talking about The Sopranos the way I did, but I'm very passionate about that show. I love that show very much, and
Interrupting you.
very upset
I
about
see
what
Bird
happened.
Garden is in here, and Rack, you had a birthday this week. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Rack. Absolutely. Yes. Well, it is 9:35. We have impeded enough onto Chattanooga Ed's stream. So thank you all so much for hanging out with us. I'm going to hand it off to you because that's what I do.
Oh, okie dokie. Well, thanks for watching. It was a lot of fun, and I hope we see you next Thursday. I'm sure John will have another movie to talk about or something to have a debate about. But anyways, thanks for watching, and mods, thank you so much for helping. You're always wonderful. Thank you. We appreciate everything you do. And Robin Davis, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have a wonderful night, you guys, and go check out Chattanooga Ed.